Hey guys. This is not the usual videos I do, but it's instead of a playthrough video, it's a tutorial video. Because my movie video kinda got some views, like at least like 4, I decided to make a tutorial to how to animate and also use my movie. So I got 8 likes and 1 follower, 87 views. I'm gonna look at my comments. Then. My questions. Why is everyone better at me in animation? Well, Smile Dog 66696. I am gonna answer your question. Good advice. I like the scary part. You're welcome. So, I will show you how to animate like a pro on my movie, which this can be used in a bunch of different ways. For example, let's start about. Why does my smile look like that? Guys, that's a little creepy. Don't you think? Well, we're gonna use it anyway, no matter how creepy it is. It kind of like looks evil. Actually, hold on. So, now you got your character, which mine is smiling very creepily. Basically, there's a bunch of things. When you select them, you'll get animate, pose, turn, layers, and fade. I will show you what layers are. So, you see this picture? You can move this up and down. And it does the same for the other images. And usually, you can select over this one when you're above this hitbox, because it's above, but when it's below, you get hit on this hitbox instead of this one, because it's behind. And the cool thing you can do is you can pose it. You usually have to buy all these emotes down here, but I bought all of them, so I would just do the stills. Like, you can do point, you can turn it, you can turn it to view the whole thing, which is pretty cool. You see little Andy looks where you make it face. It also shows your items too, and you can do certain types of animation. So what's first step? Let's go into simple animation. We have our dog here. We click animate. We drag him onto the wall, right? You play, he gets dragged. And he smooths out at the end. Well, we can adjust how long the clip is, and that makes it take longer for him to smooth out and hit the wall here. And we can make this also really short. And which is really cool, there's style. You can do back in where it comes, hold on, where it comes in and then hits the wall at a, it's like this, but it instead goes in and then hits. There's also back in and out. So with these animation styles, the loop, it does that. Freeze start, which, just so you know, is cooler than you think. Just animations from freezes. I'll show you what that can be used. So if you don't like this, like maybe you make a mistake or scale it or rotate it, you can always reset it and it will go back to its original place. Like, oh no, I moved it. There we go. There's also help. where you can move it somewhere else. That's basically it. And I'll show you timings a little later, but let's get on the next step. Sounds. Sounds. So basically with sounds we can add stuff. Like we can add a dog barking. We can also add multiple sounds.
What the dog
doing? You can add a creepy scream. You can only add 3 sounds per one, and you can add music too. We'll get into music a little later. So basically, in your movie editor, you can search here. It also works if you put in a sound ID. Basically, every ID of a sound, every sound on Roblox has an ID for it. And when you paste it in, it shows it too. So basically, you got this
audio. What the dog doing?
You can adjust to playback.
What the dog doing? What the dog doing?
And you can move it in different places.
What the dog doing?
Like you can move it in different areas.
What the dog doing? What the dog doing?
And you can
What the dog doing? What the dog doing?
Pitch.
What the dog doing? What the dog doing? What the dog doing? What the dog doing? What the dog doing?
You can do the speed too.
What the dog?
So you can technically put 50.
What the dog doing?
And it creates this cursed
What the dog doing?
Which is good for some vines if you want.
What the dog doing? What the dog doing?
As well.
What the dog doing? What the dog doing?
Let's put this at its original speed and get on with the video.
Dog doing?
Now you can
what
play
the dog doing?
You gotta
what the
move
dog
in
doing?
The sound. Let's get into text. Well, no, let's actually go into music. So in music, you can do a bunch of stuff. There's genres. You have to buy. These are all, you can use these for free, but these down here, you have to pay money. And at Popular Music, you can find sounds like DistroKid songs. Some of them get copyrighted, but they can be used pretty good. So yeah, you can add music. Like, let's add this. Sounds cool and happy. You can adjust the volume too. And you can also loop sounds.
What the dog doing? What the dog doing? What the dog doing? What the dog doing?
And you can animate them too. You can animate it so when it goes to
what the dog
the audio fades out.
What the dog doing? What the dog doing? What the dog doing? What the dog doing?
Adjust the pitch.
What the dog doing?
Like that. And there's another cool thing we can do. Same with images. They have an image ID too, so you can input numbers. You can favorite these to be used. You can even make custom albums, things to put them on. You can invite people to come, and text. It will look like this. If you're on mobile, you just like double tap it, like pretty fast. And if on console, I think you have to double tap it too when you select it. And on computer, same thing. So you can enter your text like world. Hello world. It's fine if it's spelled wrong. I put a return there, but yeah, you can do returns. So you can edit this to edit your text again. Style, you can set color. There isn't a palette option where you can pick a custom color. It's just these limited colors. Like, let's make this white. And you can also make the fonts different. You can apply both of them at the same time. Standard, alien, antique, arcade, diary, formal, marker, monster, typewriter. There's a bunch of stuff you can do. Same with these, you can animate them. Like, you can rotate while animating. Makes it spin. And you can fade them out too, which is pretty cool. And you'll see two of these if you have a fade. Just smooth. You can apply both for the fade and stuff. So we will get into timings once we're done. The last thing, avatars. So avatars, you can use your friends' avatars. You can make characters. I'm using mine that has a devil-ishy smile. It's very creepy. You can pose these. You can turn these to show your UGC on them. You can do emotes on them. You have to use money to get the animated ones, but these are the ones you have unlocked normally. In pictures, there's stickers, which you can have to buy these, but the cool thing is you can use the ones I actually don't have that. So basically you can use these, like, let's get a microphone here. They're animated. You can fade them in and out, same as the others. And with layers, you can move them up and down, which is pretty cool. And what's the last thing we need to get into? More animating. So let's get a new slide. Let's get, for example, a yellow thing. We want this to bounce around, right? So think of this, timings. Timings is a certain time, like this would probably be like somewhere here. And when you adjust it like here, it's gonna be at the end. So you can do things in the time of seconds in here. So you can create up to 8 FPS stickers, well, GIFs, in my movie if you have a sprite sheet. But we can do that in a future video. For now, you can set the timing here. You can make it do this. I prefer a liner if you want it to bounce around. Then you try to space it out. But don't worry, once you do it, it saves the liner option. And now it bounces around. Pretty cool, right? And you can only move it up to 4 frames. So basically 4 frames every 0.5 seconds would be around 8 FPS, I suppose. And you can do a lot of cool things with timings. There's help for them too. Which, pretend this is an image. You slide to a part of the time. So you see how it shows where it's going. It goes to the point where you made it want to move. And then you can make your change in the middle there. So you can do this. And And here's another thing I want to show you. You can do backgrounds. Like, you have to buy the other ones here. And right here is where your general stuff is. I think you have to buy them, basically. I bought a lot of them, don't judge me. You can also do colors, backgrounds, so you don't have to put image background in the back, checkerboard. But that's the basics for how to work my movie. So yeah, that's all the basics. And we will get straight to the next part in the next video, just to not make it too confusing. Alright, see y'all in the next video. Bye.